That's not easy. I can just open.
Full throttle! Rise with the sun! Try and stop me!
Strike a pose! Let the world come alive!
Tell me what you see. Not too far now.
Light it up! Wrath from the skies!
How dare you! Ah, the show begins!
Be free. Time to say hello.
Yoo-hoo!
Farewell.
Burn it down! Weather like this is perfect for enjoying the outdoors. Want to go for a spin? Here, hop on.
It is time, Morax. We settle this now.
Right now, right here. Right now.
Crumble. There is no attack
Ah,
for 1,000-year pain. Today, you witness your reckoning.
Stabilize!
committed to memory. How brilliant! Emerge. Right here.
Will not
Right now,
absolve you.
right here. Emerge.
You stand upon your tomb, though you know it not. Come, experience an eon of suffering.
This is order! Ugh. Emergency
Grow, grow, grow! Shower me with praise! Right now. Emerge. A sight to behold.
Even bedrock can be turned to dust.
Yeah, committed to memory. Ah! Let my name echo in song!
More axe.
Gather!
Inazuma shines eternal! Shine down! This world is your shadow. Yoo-hoo! Thunder!
Ha! Everybody stand back!
All desire can be
Off
broken.
we go! Ha!
Only emptiness awaits.
This realm.
I think I'd use my
If you ever...
Can I put more stuff?
we go. Add Astra.
Mm-hmm. Should really back on that.
Oh.
You're trembling. Is it the cold or just cowardice?
I never know you can actually
For
skip.
now.
Rev the engines!
Into the frozen
Light
void.
of the blazing sun!
Farewell.
Take me up. Bullseye!
The Tsaritsa's benevolence has no place for transgressors.
Rise with the sun!
Tell me what you see. Not too far now.
Ah.
Hold on to your hats.
Let's fly.
Open fire! Open fire!
Bullseye!
Burn it down!
Strike a pose. Yeah. Let the world come alive.
Farewell.
Pyroclastic surge!
Not every wound will heal.
No more mistakes. Try and stop me!
Go. You're free now.
I never asked for redemption. Never.
So, in quite a while since I last updated. Yeah, I can say I'll check my history. How far back it goes. So it should be Tainan. Yep. Tasker was November. It's been quite a while since I last did it. Salon. So now it has to have an Alakino. Start on again. Ron. So they only keep 6 months. So it has to value. Then it's Mona after Nabi. Oh, before Nabi. I think. Let's go back to Nabi. Clorand. I think it's more or less up to date than record. How far back can it go? So I did get quite an early pull. So I know it's quite no. Yeah, this banner I've not got much. I got very late spark with Tainari. On my record, I've got Tainari at 81, and then my week is 75, and I think I'm on 44, and I don't have guarantees. I might end up having to. Might end up having to buy stuff. Just not always ideal.
Rebooting. Add Astro. Thank you for.
Why do new explorers make the same?
Well, for some energy. I think I can finish this story on today.
Oh, you're back. How were things at their headquarters?
It was as if they had all turned into completely different people.
We all climbed up.
That would prove my suspicions. The dissonance I mentioned earlier was precisely that fleeting moment of fear behind the cheerful facade.
Like that one guy found hiding in the box.
Right. He was acting super scared too when we saw him at the gathering place. Actually, hasn't he just been acting super paranoid since we first met?
And that's precisely why I took his hat.
Oh, so the one who started it all was... It was you all along!
It's because I wanted to figure out what's really going on. I don't believe any of Dugier's talk about unstable mental states.
How long have you been investigating this?
Not too long. Dugier made very elaborate preparations for my visit. But I don't know. It almost feels like the performance was too elaborate.
Okay, but if you think something's wrong, why don't you just take the whole society into custody? Aren't you the Duke? You can do whatever you want in this place.
Well, maybe you're actually a better fit for the position than I am. Just give me the word and I'll hand you the cuffs. In all seriousness, however, cuffs and the like should be used sparingly. They're mostly for show. Everything I do is on display. The way people see me act determines the kind of world I can create down here. And I've always striven to appear fair and reasonable to the people.
That sounds a bit deep. Paima's not sure she got all of it.
Duke's fallacy will be emulated by the Duke's action will set the tone.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. I have to lead by example if I want to maintain expectations of justice and order. And that's why, even though Dugier had already let a few things slip, I didn't want to turn on him without irrefutable evidence.
Alright, so you're saying Dugier has figured out some way to control the members of his society. And even though the members are acting all optimistic and motivated, it's all just a show.
I feel like we're still missing some.
Indeed. He certainly seems to be using some coercive methods to turn his members into the most upbeat and motivated group of people you've ever seen. And that won't turn out well in the long run. I have some faith, though, that some of the members understood the hint I gave during our visit. The line has been set, and it's quite likely that a fish will bite.
Fish? Bite?
Let's give them some time. My guards will need it to finish their investigation, too. You can find me in my office when the time comes.
Hey! Don't just leave before you've explained everything to Paimon! Hey!
Let's have a look. Okay. And
evening. Risley's probably wrapped up his investigation. Paimon has no idea what that guy's thinking. Let's just go find him and ask him what he's really up to.
Oh, here you are. Did you manage to land a lucky pull on the welfare meals tonight?
Let's just get straight to the point. Has anything else happened with the society?
Patience, Paimon. Even as the situation continues to brew, we still need to make sense of what we learned so far and go over any sticking points. I'm actually still thinking about the first thing that came to my mind when I noticed something amiss. Namely, why didn't anyone come to me about it?
Oh, that's a good point. Could whatever they're afraid of be so powerful that even you won't be able to do anything about it?
But even if such a thing existed, how could they be so sure without checking with me first? It'd be one thing if it was just one or two people, but it seems like everyone's convinced that I won't be able to help. Which leads me to believe that it's more likely that they think I just wouldn't care to help them.
Has he been working with Doji?
Yes, something like that. Dugier must have told them something to make them think I won't take their side. So it became imperative for me to refute that and prove my true stance. Of course, I had originally planned to do this in a more covert way, but I had to improvise when you identified the guy who'd lost his hat with everyone present. There was no way to keep our investigation a secret after that.
That makes sense. Wait, then does that mean it was all Paimon's fault?
Now that you mention
The last thing that guy wanted was for Dugier to find out that he'd lost it. He would have never brought the matter up on his own. But now, not only has Dugier found out that he'd lost his hat, he's also realized that we were the ones who found it. That likely set his internal alarms off all at once.
the hat must be hiding something.
Yes, that's the conclusion I came to as well. It's the only thing that could explain the fear. If we didn't act right then and there, Dugier would probably come up with some other way to hide the truth and we'd be back to square one. So after giving the matter some thought, I tossed that black gem onto the ground. I must say, I was pretty satisfied with the results.
Ah, so you did that on purpose?
Yes, that's right. Of course, that box was discovered as part of our investigation of the Society from the very beginning. I had no way to know if any of the members had actually seen the gem before, but since I had to do something, I decided to gamble.
That's the picture time I remember.
Right. And I said back there that I had no idea what the gem represented. That should have been enough to let people know that it's still early days for my investigation. And since I was traveling with you, heroes who have never turned a blind eye to evil and injustice, they would also understand that we're here to help, rather than to tolerate or uphold the status quo.
You used us as a part of your plan too!
That's how you wanted this to come along.
My apologies. There was no time and quite a lot to explain, so I figured it might be easier to just let you see a few things for yourselves. But I can assure you that I've now told you everything there is to know. Of course, you're under no obligation, but I would really appreciate it if you could continue to lend me your support and help me figure out the true secret behind the Society. Would you be willing to lend me your support?
But Paimon's still mad at you!
Sure, if all you need is some help planning.
You have my thanks. Now, there are still two outstanding matters in our investigation. The first is the secret of the hats. I've examined one before. There was nothing suspicious about the item itself. The other is the true purpose of the black gem. We haven't been able to get anything out of anyone with actual knowledge of it. It's my hope that a brave fish will take my bait, and venture outside of their dark and murky pool. I'll put some music on while we wait.
Sometime around the
Excuse me, Your Grace, but may I come in? I'm afraid that someone's been following me.
Please, do.
I apologize for my lack of composure. These two are the guests that came with you to our gathering place, correct?
He knows?
Yes, my lover Fasol told me all about you. Please, help us, Your Grace. He's in great danger right now.
Slow down, take a deep breath, and start from the top. What happened at the Society?
I'm sorry, Your Grace. I will try. I think I should start from when you saw Fasol last.
You mean when we saw him at the gathering place?
Yes, he fled immediately, but many members are hot on his heels. Thankfully, he still managed to meet up with me and explain everything that had happened. Now that he's lost Dugier's trust, what awaits him is agonizing censure.
Censure?
Censure is Dugier's method of establishing control, as well as the thing we all fear the most. Rather than listening to me explain what it is, Your Grace, please, just let me show it to you. Every secret may be found within...
Here you are. I was wondering where you had run off to in such a hurry. Please excuse us, Your Grace. It was never our intention to disturb you like this. You see, Avisa's mental state has been rather unstable ever since she arrived at the fortress. She rambles often, has hallucinations. It may be best to dismiss her babbling as random gibberish.
I don't recall hearing a knock or giving permission for you to come in.
Oh, my apologies. I merely did not wish for Your Grace to be alarmed. Had I not been so focused on recovering her, I would have followed all the rules of etiquette to the letter. So please, forgive my discourtesy.
Like we'd believe you.
We know exactly what.
Please, there's no need to be upset. It's only natural to want to side with the poor sick girl, but I know His Grace to be a reasonable man.
Well then, what if the reasonable man wants to hear the lunatic out?
That would be perfectly fine with me. Oh, and just so you know, we've also found the missing Mr. Fasol. I had no idea why he was so upset about losing his hat, really. Thankfully, he has already returned to his senses. We've brought him back to our place, so there's no need to worry.
I'm sorry, Your Grace. I don't have anything more to say.
This is what you're afraid of, correct? You can tell me everything. I'll do all I can for you.
I've never seen that thing in my life.
You can do it, please.
Your Grace, I don't think there's anything else she would like to say. Pressuring her will not get you anywhere.
It's all right, Avise. As long as you tell me what it is that you're terrified of. No matter what it is, it will no longer be able to hurt you. I swear this on my name and honor as the Duke.
Your Grace, forget it. I'll keep my mouth shut. I've already said everything I could say about the matter.
I'm sorry, Your Grace, but I really don't have anything more to say. Please, don't press me further.
But why?
In that case, Avis and I will be off. Once again, please accept my apologies for disturbing your peaceful evening, Your Grace.
Miss Avis, please show me your head. That is an order. There's nothing there.
Your Grace, I know you have long tired of my words, but please believe me when I say you've merely let your worries get to your head. The Society has never caused trouble for you or any of the guards at the fortress. We've spent all of our time working hard and trying to lead better lives. Why are you doing everything in your power to prove our guilt? What's wrong with the current state of affairs? I'll do anything for you, as long as you give me the word. Why are you so intent on getting rid of someone who's been unfalteringly loyal?
Your words bore me. You know the consequences if I find you to be lying.
Everything that I do for the Fortress of Meripede. But Your Grace is welcome to visit us any time to confirm the true intent of our activities. All right, Avis. Let's head back.
Just what's up with that guy? He makes Paimon really, really mad. We should have shown him his place.
Sooner or later, all will pay the price for their arrogance. Oh, he must have been well prepared for this exact scenario, or he wouldn't have dared to be so openly hostile. All the more reason for us to be patient. The entire society are his hostages. His subordinates would definitely react if he were taken into custody. And that's why he dared to bare his fangs right in front of me.
Now, our biggest problem.
The true secret of the society is neither on the hat nor on the members' heads. Dugier probably knew this from the very beginning, which is why he didn't panic. However, if we were to look at the rules, it would also seem like the head has to be the place where they're keeping all of their secrets.
Yeah, none of this makes sense to Paimon either. What are they trying to hide?
The hats are definitely being used to hide a secret. But there's nothing wrong with the hats themselves. But if there's nothing on her head, why did Avis feel the need to remove her hat? From the way Dugier acted, he must have known from the beginning that we wouldn't be able to find any evidence. I can't seem to make a... But if there's nothing... The hats are definitely... From the way Dugier acted...
Lost her foot? Lost her hair?
I have an idea, but...
What coincidence, I don't know.
Huh? What is it? Tell Paimon about it!
If you can take off her hat to your attention to she needs so to remove her hair.
You mean this thing?
Oh.
So, she handed a key piece of evidence over to us without Dugier noticing. That would mean that Avis didn't stay silent out of fear. She stayed silent because she'd already given us what we needed. Let me take a look. I managed to remove this from the hair clip. It's long, slender, and conical, is hollow on the inside, and looks something like a cross between a nail and a thorn.
Paimon's lost again.
Let's see. What if we do this?
Hey, kind of dark liquid is leaking out of the gem. And some of it has been absorbed by this thorny-looking thing.
Yeah, gem is just a container for that type of wood.
You've probably heard before that water is filled with the strongest emotions of humanity. With that in mind, this liquid is probably a highly concentrated solution of fear.
Oh, so that's why even touching it will make you remember unpleasant things.
What? So with this infused form...
Dujier would be able to censure others. I can only imagine how it would feel to have this directly injected into your brain. The moment it hits you would be like being flooded with all the terrors you've ever experienced in your life. Agony, desolation, and an overwhelming sense of despair. No wonder they're all so terrified of it.
So, was the hat meant to cover up their wounds?
And that might not even be all. Let's go get them right away. We can't let Dujier escape with all of the evidence.
Your Grace, we have taken the Society members into custody. They all tried to flee just a little while ago, as if they had received some kind of order. We decided to forestall their plan, and were just about to send the word when you unexpectedly arrived.
Great work, everyone.
You had prepared for something like this all along?
I had them stay here to keep an eye on things, so I'm glad that my intuition turned out to be correct. Perform a thorough search of the Society's headquarters and bring all the members to me.
Understood, Your Grace.
Now, let's check on them. As expected, they all have a hollow thorn inserted into a wound on their head.
Ooh! Paimon's glad her eyesight isn't so good that she can see it from here. Paimon's gonna float away for a bit.
They didn't pull the thorn?
They probably left it there as a lasting reminder of Dujier's censure. These people must have had to endure an unimaginable amount of pain. Let's go check out the other areas too.
This world is full of unsolved mysteries.
Hey, come here! Have a look at this! This is a book that Paimon found in a box next to the bookshelf. Its contents are exactly the same as this book on the shelf. The colors of the covers are completely different, though, and the names of the authors also don't match up.
So these are also just for show.
Yeah, and they dared to claim that they wrote these too. Huh!
Look at what I found. This is a surveillance port. With this, Dugier would be able to remotely monitor everything that's happening at the gathering place. So even if Dugier's not there in person, he'll still always have eyes on the members.
That explain why they were also tampering.
Indeed. It's easy to become lost and confused when you're given no instructions or any kind of script to follow. And if any action you take may be deemed a mistake, then perhaps it's better to do less. Or to not do anything at all. Dugier has already tamed them to his will.
Your Grace! Your Grace!
What's the matter?
We couldn't find any society members in the other areas. It also seems like none of the equipment in those rooms were ever used. All the signs of wear and tear are fake. The lime scale, the layers of dust, they were all deliberately added. We also investigated the members' residences and weren't able to find anything. Their neighbors all say that they haven't returned home for ages.
Oh. Is that right?
They're gone? That could only mean...
Like we've got a lot of infinity building in front.
Indeed. As long as he allowed society members to mingle with others, even with threats of censure, Dugier knew that he couldn't stop all of his members from speaking out. Meanwhile, this marvelous gathering place will lose all of its value as soon as a whistleblower sounds the alarm. So instead of being his real base, this is just an elaborate performance. The rest areas, the fancy equipment, even the members that we saw, they were merely part of the front. And only the most docile and well-trained members were selected as his performers.
But then, where can we actually find him?
Let me think. Dugier must be holding all the rest of his members in another place. And if the overseer of my fortress guard has never alerted me to anything of the sort, he must be in Dugier's pocket.
Outside arena headquarters.
I'm of the same mind. Let's go. You two, follow me.
Try and stop me!
I used to think how to move back.
Exploration and trials. Adventuring is right up my alley. Light it up!
Did that person flee here?
That's the most likely scenario to me. He's probably already caught wind of Dugier's declaration of war against me, and has fled to seek his protection. Let's keep heading down. There are some abandoned areas in there. Since he needs space, I'd guess Dugier probably converted them into his headquarters. We should be on the right track. Now we just need to find that turncoat. Let's go. We can take this path. You guys take the other.
Look! There's a fallen guard over there! Paimon sees some society members too!
After them!
It's Risley! Run!
Oh no, let's pursue them. Oh no, they run so very, very slow.
Did Dugier send you? Why did you attack that guard?
Come on! It's time to talk! Can't you see that he's trying to help?
I will take your cooperation into consideration when it comes time to hand out sentences.
But Mr. Dugier, he didn't want this guy to expose our true location. We were just about to dispose of him when you caught up to us.
So, in other words, your headquarters should be this way.
Yes, it's just down this way. You'll make it there once you've seen him pass through a large drainage pipe.
Yeah, that's fine. Like it.
Guards, take them away. Let's go. It's about time that we find out what Dugier's really after.
Burn it down!
We might need to log on to...
Rev the engines!
I am sorry.
There's so much space down here.
Yeah, these are all former work areas. They've been left abandoned due to a lack of funds. There are usually guards on patrol here. It would seem that all of those guards have been bought as well. Stay sharp. He's got a ton of surprises waiting for us, I'm sure.
Full throttle!
A moment, please. Stay cool and face your guilt.
Rise with the sun! Try and stop me! Incinerate!
Hey, are you okay?
You're safe now. Just follow the guards and leave this place.
Who knew that there'd be Gardamex here? Dugier really prepared for everything.
And that would explain the strange decommission requests I received, as well as account for all the Gardamex that had mysteriously gone missing. Seems like he's prepared for an all-out confrontation with me.
Hey, what's this?
Seems like some kind of handbook. Let me see. Ah, this should be the Society's real rules book. It lists all the rules that they're expected to follow. Members are not permitted to speak to each other or to leave without formal permission. 5 members shall form a group, and the whole group will be punished for any single member's wrongdoings. Anyone who reports a fellow member's misbehavior shall be rewarded with food and water. I see. So it's much as I expected.
But that's just cruel and unreasonable.
To obtain food and water, prisoners are forced to snitch on others, and in the process cause pain to those around them. To avoid punishment, they learn to stop talking with one another. This leaves the wounds they've already received to fester, however, and so resentment builds until every prisoner has become an island. Finally, isolated and without hope, they accept their fate as Dugier's slaves. Do you remember what happened to Paimon? She rejected all the snacks in the box once she was spooked by that black gem. She's usually all for tasty snacks, but she chose to go against her instincts after a negative experience.
Ugh, is that the best example you could come up with? Anyway, Paimon still thinks she made the right decision. It never hurts to be careful.
No, your decision was valid. However, it's also valid to interpret that as a decision that you only made under emotional duress. The human heart is like a raft in a vast and empty ocean. We convince ourselves that we're in control, but in truth, a single wave could sweep us off course and send us crashing into the path of a storm. Those who use fear to lead others astray must pay for that crime.
That's over.
If I'm not mistaken, the space ahead should be the central area of this place, but the door has been locked. Rather than confront Dugier, I think it's more important right now for us to rescue as many society members as possible. You guys should wait here. We'll try to open the door and check out some other spots.
Open the door. Would we have to do something to this mechanism here? Paimon doesn't get it at all. Forget it, Paimon's just gonna do some trial and error. Whoa, it's turning! Is it because we touched this thing? Look, the other side's open! Let's go.
Usually they'll make some high stuff in the sun, so... Usually if there's chests and stuff, you will find it.
Be free!
Let's begin.
Have a safe trip.
Propagate! May I present?
Oh, it's so high. We're not gonna have to climb all the way up, are we?
Activate the mechanism in front of us first, just like before. Let's see if that changes anything.
Ooh, the water level's gone way up. So that's how we'll make it to the top.
I can't see where I am. Blah, 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 blah.
How brilliant!
Those are the guards.
These should be the prison cells. Lots of empty cells in here. Dugier's probably moved them elsewhere already.
Let's still rescue the ones who got left behind, though. Every person counts. Hey, it's all right now. You can leave this place.
No. No, I won't try to leave anymore. I'll never try to leave again. So close to me. I don't want any trouble.
No, we're not gonna do that. Please calm down. We're not bad people.
We won't be able to get through to her right now. Not with the stress response in the way. I'd also guess there are many others here who are more or less like her. Let's let the guards take care of them for now and keep pushing forward.
Effie's infestation or still ending?
Oh, all right. Let's search for an exit first.
This is a very nice. Yeah, I see them. Because I don't know.
The door's open. Huh. Maybe it's His Grace. I'll go take a look.
I leave this area to you. Make sure to bring everyone out safe.
Understood. And please take care as well, Your Grace. We'll return here right away and await your orders.
Just focus on the tasks you've been given. I already have reliable help over here. Let's go back. We have unfinished business, do we not? That mechanism from the first room. Maybe we'll also need to hold it in place using the same device to open the door that leads to the central area. Don't forget to bring these along.
This seems to be something like a console.
This is a surveillance terminal. The information collected by the surveillance ports we found previously will be sent here. I'm sure Dugier really enjoyed sitting here and making his people dance like puppets on strings.
Oh, that makes Paimon even angrier!
I must confess to being furious. To think that there are still some of you who find it permissible to spit upon our rules. Remember their names. Fasal and Avis. They've betrayed you, betrayed us. And today you will see with your own eyes what'll happen to those who betray our cause. Go on, Avis. Pierce his skull with the thorn in your hands, and then push in the Aqua Dolores. Of course. You will do it one drop at a time. Let it do its magic again and again, and don't stop until you've pushed all of it in.
Thistle. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll find a way to endure.
Oh, shut your wretched mouths! When did I give you permission to speak? My rules are the paramount law of this place. Only more pain will come to those who dare to disobey.
That's enough, Dugier. Your rabid screams have been beyond nauseating.
Is that His Grace?
Oh, Risley. I knew you would come, but I didn't expect you to be so quick. Must you still refuse to let me be? Did I not spell everything out for you already? What's so blasphemous about sharing a slice of the cake with me when you've already got the entire fortress at your feet?
It would seem that you can't see the difference between sharing and looting. And on top of that, look at your people. Are they not starving as you wolf down your cake?
You. Stop acting all high and mighty like some hero of justice! Have you forgotten? Nobody in this blasted fortress is innocent. We are all irredeemable monsters who have destroyed something that others held dear. What's so wrong about punishing those who deserve to be punished? It's what they've always deserved. And please, are you really gonna tell me that you care about their lives and well-being when you just need a supply of labor to keep this place running? Is it that all you need to keep your cushy life?
Sadly, you're wrong on both counts. Unlike you, I've never seen them as currency. The fortress is not only a place for confinement, but also a place for rebirth. Just as people are free to give in to the darkness within their hearts, they are also free to seek redemption and a new beginning. Our bodies have limits, but our spirits will always remain free. They may have made mistakes, but they are still human beings with people and things that they cherish. And most importantly, they should always retain the freedom to choose their own path once they've reflected on their past misdeeds. But you're destroying their spirits with fear, taking their freedom away so that they'll become slaves who will never again feel or think. And you say that's what they've always deserved? You are nothing compared to them.
He's really mad.
Honestly, he's been keeping it in until now.
You think me arrogant, Risley. Well, I think you're too young and naive. You understand nothing of this world. Nobody actually sees this fortress as any kind of just a wonderful place. See it for what it is. A dumping ground of pain and misery, irredeemable now and irredeemable forever. No prisoner will listen to you out of gratitude of their hearts. The whip is the only way to make them obey. Had you been just one step slower, I would have already taken control of all the garden mechs in this place. Your vision gives you strength. But how long will it hold against these powerful constructs?
You talk big, but in the end, you know nothing outside of power and control. In that case, let me give you a small taste of what real power looks like.
Spring forth! Ha!
Time to say hello. Be free.
No backup, huh? Fine by me. A moment, please. This could get a little chilly. Don't run away now.
Not too far now.
Stay cool and face your guilt.
Punch, punch, punch.
If you think fear can control everything, well then, terrify me.
Don't high road me. You're just another crook. And it's time you got treated like one.
What's the matter? Too scared to shoot straight?
I'm warning you. Unauthorized punishment and torture are prohibited here. As the Duke, you should set an example.
Funny how that slipped my mind. Well, from this point on, you can forget about that rule. The rules of the fortress are there to keep the likes of you in check. But if the Duke wants somebody dead, he needs no justification. Understood?
Justice Society members have been imprisoned through headquarters. I have spent much time with each member, comforting them and extend his personal apologies. Raleigh and I make some arrangements for following up medical care and cleanup work. And thus, the Sudbury Society debacle truly come to an end.
Sorry for taking so long. Did I keep you waiting?
No, not at all. Paimon didn't know you were so considerate.
If you ask me, I'd say I actually feel very helpless. There's no way that I could truly empathize with the fear that the members felt every day. I could comfort and compensate them all I want, but it might still not be enough to repair the damage that has been done. I have to take responsibility for it, as does the fortress.
Maybe you should give him a formal apology.
You're right. Besides formal apologies and reprimands, I also probably need to head upstairs to have a talk about how best to manage the guards.
So, do you have a plan for how you're gonna deal with him yet?
Oh, Dugier? I've already got an idea. For now, I think I'll do nothing.
Huh? Why?
I think it's a very fitting punishment for him to have to imagine the sorts of punishments that will soon be coming his way. He'll be left in the dark with regards to both the dates and the details of his punishment. Of course, that's not to say that I'll be letting him off scot-free. It's not often that I actually get the chance to be creative with my punishments. I'm going to talk to the members of the society. He'll get a chance to experience everything that he's ever inflicted on them.
I suppose there's a kind of punishment only the fortress can meet out.
Paimon didn't know you could also be so harsh. Looks like she should watch her tongue when she's around you in the future.
Why do you think I'd do that kind of thing to you? You offend me, Paimon. Anyway, jokes aside, thank you so much for all of your help. There's still a lot for me to take care of, so... How about this? I'll treat you to a meal in 2 days at the Coupon Cafeteria. We should have a better handle on things by then.
No, Paimon's had enough of that place.
Don't worry, it won't be the same old welfare meal. I'll make the necessary arrangements.
Oh, then you've got yourself a deal.
Many insects have a compulsion to follow the light, and humans are the same. Except
I wonder if it's faster to do in places like right.
Ah, you're here.
Paimon never forgets about meals. Even if the traveler forgets, Paimon will remind her for sure.
You say that as if I haven't been feeding you, so.
That's not what Paimon meant at all. Risley, you got what Paimon meant, right?
I'm a little confused, actually.
Hey, not you too!
Jokes aside, I've got some good news. After taking a look, the doctors have let me know that it shouldn't be too difficult to extract the thorns, which means that everyone should be able to recover after a period of rest. As for their mental recoveries, most are making good progress as well. We've added a few who were more severely affected to a special observation list.
You sure got everything taken care of, Risley.
I try my best. After all, it's my duty to take care of everything that happens within my territory.
A refresher for you, actually.
Please, go ahead.
Your flashback when you picked up the journey.
Ah, that's a bit of a long story. I once had a similar experience. It had to do with the host family I lived with as a child. I was an orphan, adopted by a couple with a great deal of love in their hearts. I had many siblings, and we all adored each other. Once we were older, Mom and Dad would turn us over to be individually adopted by families of greater means, and go on to adopt more young children. They were perfect parents. Or so I thought.
And then?
And then, I found out we were merely raised as livestock. Once we had reached a certain age, our parents would bring us to the market for sale. All children that were sold would leave the house, and nobody would know what became of them. As for those who didn't sell, they were merely disposed of. Did you know I once considered myself an extremely lucky child? And all of my friends, all of my siblings, they all felt this way as well. I was also not the first to find out about the truth. All those who found out before me were simply added to the disposal pile. I could never shake the feeling of irony every time I juxtaposed their tragic ends against our parents' adoring smiles.
That explains a lot.
Yes. Like the society, my parents created a facade of joy, lied to satiate their desires, and even employed incredibly cruel methods to keep their grasp on power. They did all of that, but never considered how their actions would utterly ruin all the children they took under their wing. Worse, perhaps they never cared about that at all. but I did. So in the end, I killed them and set all of the remaining children free. I was convicted for my crimes and exiled to the fortress of Meripede.
Ah.
My methods were extreme, yes, but I was still a teenager at the time. I'd been betrayed by those I trusted most, and I didn't think that more moderate ways would solve the problem. My doubt and helpless anger pushed me forward until I got what I deserved.
You don't even know what to say.
It's all right. You don't have to tell me what you think. I've already committed to this path, regardless of what anyone may say about it. The least I can do is to make sure that the same tragedy will not happen again in my new home.
Sorry to disturb you, everyone.
Oh, it's Avis and Fasol! Are you two feeling better yet?
It was all because you arrived in time. I managed to escape unscathed.
That's her.
We came here on impulse today, because we were hoping that you'd be able to lend us a hand, Your Grace.
Please, go on right ahead. I'll do my best to help. Within reason, of course.
It's... I'd like to be wedded to Avis here at the fortress.
You're getting married?
Yeah, we met each other through the society and both fell into Dugier's trap. But even during our time there, we never doubted each other. We always believed that Dugier was manipulating us, trying to make us mistrust each other. And after this incident, we've come to believe that we've found the one for the rest of our lives.
You could say we managed to make the best out of a bad situation. He didn't abandon me, and I didn't forsake him either. But we're still both prisoners, and we also aren't sure if the fortress is the best place to host something so celebratory. So we are just wondering, is our request a bit too out of line?
You're right in that the fortress has never hosted a wedding before. But that's no reason to say no, is it? I'll help you make the arrangements. If you need anything special shipped in from the surface, just say the word.
Oh, we can't thank you enough, Your Grace. We are actually also planning to stay here after the conclusion of our sentences.
Yeah, we've already made tons of special memories here. So now, it'd be too hard to leave. And we have full confidence in the fortress's future with you at the helm, Your Grace.
Your trust is the highest form of praise.
Hey, loosen up a bit! Shouldn't you be the happiest man in Teyvat to hear that people would like to stay of their own free will?
Yeah. I'll always take a genuine expression of faith over any obligation to obey.
I think I'm missing some side quests. Let's do Navi's.
Well, if it isn't my dear partners.
That voice! It's Navia!
I didn't expect to run into you guys here today. Are you headed somewhere?
This guy daily does adventuring.
How about you, Navia? Are you still busy rebuilding Poisson?
We've wrapped up most of the rebuilding, but there are still a few things left to take care of. Stocking up on materials, confirming construction timelines, discussing compensation terms with families affected by the disaster. Between all of that, I've been making a lot of trips between the court and Poisson.
Could you really be the one offering compensation?
Well, though the victims have received relief payments from the court, in my opinion, as the administrators of Poisson, Spina di Rosula should take some responsibility as well. Our financial situation right now isn't the best, so all we've been doing is signing agreements for the damages to be repaid at a later date. Though just pieces of paper now, they demonstrate our commitment. They're necessary to restore the people's faith in us.
Oh, spoken like a true president. You're a really responsible leader. That must be taking up most of your time, though, right?
Oh, you bet. Between that and all the other errands I have to run at the court, I'm always forgetting one thing or another. So before I came over this time, I took a page from Melusa's book and decided to make a list of everything. This way, it's easy to see which tasks you haven't checked off.
And then?
And then, since Melus loved using shorthand, I decided to also follow his example and come up with some shorthand of my own. But after running a few errands in the city, I'm kind of struggling to even read my own handwriting anymore.
That does sound like you, all right. So what kind of shorthand did you use?
Oh, wanna take a look?
Let Paimon see. Wait. There's nothing here but a bunch of weird symbols.
Yeah,
this looks like a piece of kelp wrapped around a stick. And this other one, is it supposed to be a boar in a box?
The first one has to do with confirming the final payment amount for the fishermen, while the second one is a reminder to try the new burger that just hit the market.
Okay, Paimon can definitely see how you might forget what each of these mean.
Maybe just you stand. Maybe just you stand that I show how. Maybe try out each eyes in next time. Yeah, let's go with.
Thank you for your advice. These are the kinds of things you only really figure out once you've tried them out yourself. I thought that as long as I understood my shorthand when I came up with it, I'd be sure to remember the symbols when I looked at them later. Unfortunately, I've definitely proven myself wrong.
Well, now you know for next time.
Anyway, I should have already taken care of most of the things on the list. There are still a few symbols that I can't decipher, but I don't think they're anything too super important. Worst comes to worst, I'll just make another trip.
Ah, so you're going to head back now?
Yep, that's the plan. Oh, actually, since we talked about the reconstruction earlier, want to come with me and check out the town for yourself? You said you don't have any plans, right? So we can just catch a boat and head over. It won't take long at all.
It's a bit sudden, but Paimon doesn't see why not. What do you think, Traveler?
It will be a pretty nice break too.
Then let's go. We'll take a boat over.
Oh, you mean the Aquabus, right? Like the Clementine line?
Oh, sorry. I meant our own boat. The Aquabus doesn't have a station near Poisson, so we'll use one of the Spina's boats.
Sure, sounds good to me.
All right, follow me. I'll take you there. the engineer is still doing a few routine safety checks. We can head out as soon as we get the green light.
So, Paimon has always wanted to ask. The 3 Aquabus lines are all named after people in your family, right?
Yeah, that's right. Callus and Navia are self-explanatory, while Clementine was the name that my mother went by.
Spina di Rossula is one of the main sources in the construction.
If you provided the Mora to build the lines, then why isn't there even a dedicated line to Poisson? Spina di Rossula built all the lines, yet you still have to take a special boat just to go home. Paimon doesn't get it.
Well, what I heard is that most of our businesses don't actually use Poisson as a hub, so there was no real reason to build a line straight to Poisson. You are right that it is a bit strange, though. If you've already committed to build 3 lines, why not just add a 4th?
Yeah, that's what Paimon's saying. The Aquabus is so convenient, it's really a huge shame.
Well, it is what it is. You know what my father was like. Even I often struggled to figure out what was going on in his head.
Just the rest of the Spina they see points you have on the floor from.
But that would only be the case if he cared about what others thought. My father was always really stubborn. Once he made up his mind, good luck getting him to change it. From what I've heard, the rights of all the other members of the Spina only went as far as giving him advice or suggestions, and no farther. That included my mother, too.
Huh. Well, that explains why you weren't on the greatest of terms with him.
Yeah, because I wouldn't just let him keep getting his way. He was just... not very agreeable.
Boss, the boat's ready. We can head out.
All right, then let's head out. It'll be a while before we get to Poisson. Let's keep talking.
Navia, what was your mother like as a person? Oh, Paimon, sorry. She totally forgot that you mentioned before that she passed away during childbirth, so you probably don't remember her at all.
That's all right. I've heard many stories about her from the rest of the Spina. They've always said that they were sure we would have gotten along famously. While my papa was stiff like a board, my mother was supposedly super cheerful and funny. Their complementary personalities allowed them to make up for each other's flaws. My father would run the businesses and expand our reach, while my mother would keep the peace and make sure that everyone was happy. Their work made sure that the Spina could grow and thrive.
Sounds like they were not just a well-matched couple, but fantastic business partners as well.
Yeah, but those are just stories and anecdotes after all. It's hard for me to piece together a more complete or intimate picture of her. But sometimes I'd still look at the Clementine line and wonder, would the Spina and Poisson still be what they are today had my mother survived? Silver once said that a name is a kind of inscription, a way to etch a memory into the world. When given a name, a cold, inanimate object can gain a completely new meaning. So, I will always associate the line with her in my heart. Over the past few weeks, I've also begun to appreciate how water can take in and hold our most intense feelings and memories, as well as how one may reflect on their past by watching the sea. I've lost many beloved people and memories to the sea. Even though I cannot stop for them and must continue to keep moving, the fact won't change that they existed in my life and gave me the reason and motivation to move forward.
You sing my lesson, silly?
Always. But no matter what, we can't change the past. But I tell myself that I need to keep looking towards the future. Everyone, even my parents, have already overcome so many obstacles. Besides, I'm the president of Spina di Rossula. I've got to keep my chin up. We've reached the shore. Let's go. I'll show you the new poisson.
Navia, do you think she's doing alright?
Girls have to go with one thing.
Okay, Paimon supposes you're right. She's really been through a lot. It couldn't have been easy shouldering so much by herself.
Yeah, a little bit more storm. I want to do this all in days.
Boss, you're back! Traveler and Paimon, welcome back to Poisson.
Oh, hey! Fancy seeing you again, Florent. Is it your turn to take care of Navia now?
Hey, I can totally take care of myself. For the time being, I'll go around without any attendance. We did hand over some of Malus's old responsibilities to Florent, though. It's been really nice to have him around to help out.
Thank you for the compliment, boss. As you see, I've been working closely with the boss on rebuilding Poisson. Mr. Malus was an extremely capable and respected member of the Spina. I've got some really big shoes to fill.
All right. There's no need to be so formal. Everyone's practically old friends by now. Were you waiting here for me? Did we manage to make any progress on the statue?
Yeah, we contacted a sculptor about the job, but they can't get started on sourcing a correctly sized block without knowing the design that we want to use first.
You're commissioning a statue?
So basically, we've been meaning to commission a statue of my parents in commemoration of everything they've done for the Spina and the town of Poisson. But since my father was known as Callous the Unfaithful for the longest time, it would have been too controversial to commission a statue of him. But now that his name has been cleared, and the town is also being rebuilt, I thought this would be the perfect chance to actually realize this dream.
The funds to build the statue were freely donated by the people of Poisson to show their appreciation for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callous and everything they did.
You're not in the feature with them?
Me? I'm just the newbie president that's running around and causing everyone trouble. Maybe we can have this conversation again in a few decades, once I've done more for the town and the people.
Hey, there's no need to be so humble. Didn't you just help save the entire country?
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe that Boss should have a place on the statue.
Hey, if you keep inflating my ego like this, I might just float off into the sky with my parasol. Just kidding. There's no way that I'd accept that kind of compliment at face value. At a minimum, I'd have to match what my father did for the people.
It may just be a matter of time.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. I just don't think I'm ready yet. Anyway, Florent, now it's up to us to confirm the final design, right?
Mm-hmm. We can ask the sculptor to start looking for a good block once we've decided on the poses for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callis. But we haven't had any real discussions yet on the possible designs. I feel like I should get a few promising designs first, and then send them over to you to review.
There's no need for all that. Let's decide on a design right now. Hey, you! Come over here with me.
Me?
Modeling a few poses, of course. Here, just pretend to be Callis, and I'll be Clementine. Didn't you say on the boat that Callis and Clementine sounded like great partners? Well, then there's no one better to fill this role than my most valuable partner. Florent, let's grab some reference shots.
You've got it, boss. I'll go get the camera.
Well, what do you think? Got any ideas?
Could you be running the show?
Well, I've actually discussed it a bit with Florent before, but I could never come up with any fresh or original ideas. It's probably because my idea of them is already kind of set in stone. So, I want to pick your brain for a bit, and see if you can come up with some new and interesting ideas.
I'm all good here, boss. Feel free to start posing whenever.
Okay. Let's try looking out to the distance.
By that, do you mean as if we were standing on a boat and looking out at the sea? Sure, let's give that a try.
Whoa, you really remind Paimon of a captain and their first mate.
Look over there, my dear Clementine. As you can see, every tree on that island is dripping with mora fruit.
But there's something off with the composition. This pose makes Mr. Callis look too tall next to the lady.
Oh, I see what you mean. Then let's swap.
Well, Paimon is a fan. A statue like this would look fantastic on a boat.
Wait, but we can't do that. Very few people would see the statue if we were to put it on a boat. This statue is meant to be placed in the town.
But then, since we're putting it in the town, the whole point of the pose would be lost.
Oh, okay. We'll try to think of something else.
And then let's try for something imposing.
Imposing, huh?
Oh, just gotta have to try
I've got it. Let's try this.
This pose! It makes me recall Spina di Rosula's glorious golden age.
But isn't Clementine's pose a bit too bold and heroic? Was she really that kind of person? If we were to stick with this pose, maybe people would wonder if she was actually the real boss behind the scenes.
Well, tabloids did indeed speculate as much back in the day, but the Spina pulled a few strings and made both the report and the journalist disappear.
Oh, Paimon was just kidding! Please don't make Paimon disappear.
What Florent meant was that we asked the journalist to choose a new alias. You're right, though, that this may not accurately represent the image of her in our hearts. Let's try to come up with something else.
Happy pose.
A happy pose? You mean something like we were laughing together at a funny joke?
Would all that be able to come through with just a picture?
Would we even be able to tell what they are supposed to be laughing about?
Yeah, and that'd probably be a massive pain to sculpt as well.
Could one of you try striking a pose like you're talking while the other one laughs? That actually sounds pretty hard to pull off. Forget it, let's try something else. We tried a bunch of different ideas, but none of them felt right. Paimon
Oh, don't worry. We still got a lot of reference shots out of the session, and each of them can be considered to be a souvenir in their own right. Let's just keep the ideas we tried as backups. Man, if I knew I was going to do a photo shoot with the Traveler, I would have prepared a lot of outfits and props ahead of time. Oh, outfits! Ugh, that's the errand I forgot back in the city. Do either of you still remember that girl? The girl I went to see with you two. Her name is Adele.
Oh, Paimon remembers her. She was the one that we met while investigating Mr. Callus's case, right?
I always believed our father, Jake's.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. So, after the case, she was finally willing to talk to me, and she told me that she wanted to join the Spina too. I said that it's fine, but young children are not allowed to join the Spina. She will just have to wait a few years, and then we'll welcome her with open arms. Since she's still a child, though, she thought I was just trying to let her down gently. But how could I get her to believe that I meant what I said? In the end, I came up with an idea. I'd have a Spina uniform made and give it to her as a gift. But I got so busy and distracted in the city that I forgot to pick the uniform up. So I did forget something important after all.
Don't worry, boss. I can send someone to pick it up right away.
On the matter of the statue, we should still come up with a few more ideas for the design. I'll have to trouble you to source some for me.
We could have just done that from the start.
Yeah, at least this way we've got some cool photos.
Yeah, you're right. They'll have some value as souvenirs at least.
Navia! Florent, guess who's back?
Huh? But aren't you supposed to...
Oh, well, if it isn't Coulter. Back already from the Fortress of Meripede?
That's right. I finally finished serving my time. Gotta say, turns out I was a lot tougher than I thought. After I got out, I immediately made a beeline back to Poisson. You could say that familiar briny smell became a primal call, urging me to forget everything else and just come back home. You wouldn't believe how much I've missed Melissa's grilled fish. I dreamed about it every time I had to get a welfare meal down there underneath the sea.
It's good to have you back, Coulter. You look as well as ever.
And this guy is?
Ah, let me introduce you. This is Coulter, another of Spina di Rosula's members. He was found guilty and sentenced to the Fortress of Meripede some time ago. But, looking at it now, it was probably another one of Marcel's plots while he worked at the Confrérie of Cabrières.
Wait, Mr. Marcel? What do you mean? He was involved in some sort of plot?
Have you not heard anything at all about the water from the primordial sea case?
Well, I know that Fontaine got flooded, but then the water levels miraculously receded. I thought that was all there was to it and didn't care to ask for any more details. Do you mean Mr. Marcel was somehow involved with all that?
Oh, looks like we'll have to explain everything from the top. That case, a lot of things have happened in Poisson since then. First things first, let me introduce you to these two. They're my most trusted partners, and they've been with me through thick and thin. Now you could call them Spina di Rosula's VIP helpers.
Oh, nice to meet you. I don't recall Navia ever generously complimenting anyone like that before, so you must be pretty amazing to get that from her.
Yeah, we are indeed pretty amazing. But we've been cool since before we even met her.
All credit to Paimon.
Wait, now you suddenly resist taking a dig at Paimon?
Nice. Spina di Rosula always seems to attract great people. Oh, that reminds me. Where are Malus and Silver? Aren't they always by your side?
About that.
Coulter, a lot of things happened while you were gone. As you can see, even Poisson isn't quite the same as how it was before you left.
They lost their lives, keeping me safe during the flood.
What did you say? This isn't some kind of morbid welcome home prank, right? You're just scaring me on purpose because I don't know anything about what's happened.
I'm sorry, but it's the truth. They weren't the only people we lost either. Many others, including Melissa, also lost their lives in the disaster.
Luce and Melissa, dead. They're just gone? Luce. I was planning to give him a surprise gift once I ran into him again in town. I can't believe it.
Hey! Keep it together!
Malus and Coulter were friends for many years, and even served on many missions together during the early days of the Spina. I can understand how he feels.
Let's sit down somewhere, so I can tell you everything that has happened while you were gone. Fair warning, there was a lot.
Okay.
Guess what? Pizza tonight.